So thank you so much for being today, Thursday, May the 14th, to Larissa Talks. Today I have three good friends that we see each other in for the same passion. We come to the association when we used to come every Wednesday to our own car to do the caravans and to present our properties. And you need to listen to my accent that 16 years ago was worse than it is right now. But I am super proud to have the leadership of my own Ocala Marion County Association of Realtors. We have today Greg Lohr, which is the owner for Homes to Ranch Realty. And he's also our 2020 president for the Ocala Marion County Association of Realtors. He's also a Florida Realtors Board of Directors, and he's a 2013 by DVP, which means District Vice President, what combines a Lake, Sumter, Marion, Hernando, and Citrus County. He was also our 2009 Realtor of the Year. He's our auctioneer in our RPAC events and in many, many other events. That he also is a very professional auctioneer. So many of us that if we are in different auction places, you maybe listen to his voice. And I want you to do some examples today. He also won multiple world championship in the show rings, as well as racing, training, racing, and marketing Thoroughbred. Oh my God, this is the most difficult word that I can say in my life. But what I want you to know that I bring also not only his realtor passion also for the horses is because Ocala is being called the horse capital of the world. So being also, I want him to let us know how is the association, the president of the association, but also we can learn from him and also Mrs. Amy Joe Lohr from the farm area in Ocala and Central Florida. Amy Joe Lohr is a co-owner for Homes to Ranches. She's the daughter for Greg. She's not his wife. She's their daughter, his daughter. She's the RPAC chairperson for this year for the Ocala Marion County Association of Realtors. And as a past chairman for RPAC, I think you are doing a great job. And we're going to talk about the challenges that you're going to arrive this year. She's also director for the MLS. She's also top of 40, under 40 from 2016 from the Ocala magazine. She's a 2018 OMCA Distinguished Member of the Year. She, for me, is an entrepreneur because I saw her when she got her license for the first time. I was in the room and I see her passion since day one. She's also a very good daughter and a very good mother. Okay, we also have, and she also competes in national teams, rapping and competitions. We also have with us a good friend that we all admire each other here. But Greg Piras, he's the broker owner of Remax All-Star Realty in Ocala, Florida. He's our president-elect for the Ocala Marion County Association of Realtors for the next year, 2021. So we're gonna speak with him about the future, right? So he's also director for the 2020, the first director for the Ocala Marion County Association of Realtors for the Stellar MLS. And he's also a very well expertise in the commercial real estate and also in residential leasing property management. He recently received the CMLX, that he's going to explain how we eat that, designation for the Council Multiple Listing Services. And he's also our 2015 that I was honored to give him the distinguished member. I give it to him, the distinguished member of the year. How are you? All of you have so much to say about the present and the future. All of you also work, Amy raised here, and also can talk about a little of the past. How can we adjust what is happening in Ocala in this moment? Any one of you can tell me something? Amy, where's the girl?
Is the question what Ocala has to offer or what the changes are right now?
Well, yes, what Ocala have to offer right now.
Oh gosh. I'm gonna let Dad take that one actually.
You know, I think
okay.
agree that Ocala just offers a lifestyle. That's number one. The lifestyle that we get to live here is so different. I grew up in West Fort Lauderdale, Davie area, and moved up here some years ago. And that quiet South Florida life from 30 years ago was transferred up here as well. And then for our community, the horse end of the community, we've got the new World Equestrian Center that is just going to blow them out of the water. Full on convention center that'll rival anything in Orlando. So we're not only the horse capital world now, it's blowing up what it's going to do there. So, and Greg can certainly tell you on the residential side and commercials, especially the commercial side, there are some really big things going on in this area.
Yes, Greg, you are mute, Greg. You mute yourself.
Sorry about that. Yeah, definitely there is a lot going on the commercial side. A lot of it tied to the new equestrian center, you know, and just the expansion in the county itself. You know, one of the key things I think in our county right now is the affordable home prices, and we continue to be one of the most affordable counties in the state. So we are attracting a lot of people, and as our businesses diversify, we're not only in the agricultural and horse industry, but the distribution sector has grown quite rapidly. You're seeing that up off of I-75 there, and we're such a centralized location. It really is a great place for that, and I think our economic development group has done a great job of bringing in those people. And you know what, that's going to grow the residential side. You know, you got to fill those jobs. But I think it's real important that we're much more diversified in our industry base right now than we were back at the end of 2008 when everything went down, where most of it was construction and service. Now we're much more diversified as a community in those jobs. So we're not going to have as big of impact going forward.
I think that we was taking this situation where we was very strong. We was very strong. Our industry was super strong. Actually, we have back the February, the traffic for new lending, the applications raised 13%. So we was hitting by something that we was already in a good position. So, and I don't think this have nothing to do with real estate right now, more beside that the people are losing their jobs, but still they're gonna have some unemployment that will cover some areas. How do you see, now I have you there, how do you see the leasing side of the commercial side, Greg Peters? Because we have to,
you know,
I'm sorry, I just wanna ask you this.
Greg 1, Greg 2, you know, whatever. You can just call me George, that works too. No, I mean, obviously commercial real estate nationally as well as locally is really challenged right now. You have businesses that literally shut down. They can't pay their rents. They're asking for these owners to give them breaks on their leases. And the problem with all giving them some kind of assistance with those rent payments. And the problem is none of the government programs have really addressed the landlords, both residentially or commercially. So far we've done pretty good in collecting on our residential rents. I think in April we collected 97%. I kind of knew that May was going to be a little worse, and we're at about 90 to 95%. So we're still collecting those rents. And I think from the residential leasing standpoint, all the troubles that have gone on with the unemployment opportunities from the state, that's been a fiasco. Those people haven't been getting any of that assistance, so they haven't been able to pay their rent. And I've been really surprised on the owners that we work for, how they have been compassionate with these tenants that have run into these problems. They're willing to work with the tenants, And I think as long as owners do that and the tenants communicate, and this goes to commercial as well as residential, they might be able to work something out, at least on a temporary basis.
So as you mentioned that this is also for residential, I have a question. So because we receive a lot of phone calls lately from a lot of people, we have some properties for rent too. So do you have any scenarios that there are some people that are taking advantage to take positions now to move into a properties, and then we have issues with our landlords? Do you think that is going to something that is happening right now, or what do you think about this?
We are renting more. As soon as we get properties available, they're getting rented. We haven't seen any tenant necessarily renting now, trying to take advantage of the situation. We obviously, when, you know, back in March, we had tenants calling us up saying, hey, I hear there's a rent deferment for everybody, but that's not true. And so, you know, really what we've told tenants is, listen, if you're having a problem and you're willing to document that problem, we're willing to go to the owner and discuss it with them. Some owners are in better positions than others. Some can absorb that for a brief time, and others cannot. But in the end, right now, you can't evict anybody. The courts are all closed for that. So could a tenant be taking advantage? Absolutely, but I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
And I think on the commercial end, it, you know, it's very obvious. If you're a restaurant or a bar or something, you don't have any income. There's nothing coming in, and you know, so it's not very hard to justify to that owner that, hey, I can't pay the rent.
Okay, I understand, but there are some, like you say now, restaurants, and I want to go to talk to the lords about the farm area. But I just want to, as you just mentioned, I've been listening that there are some restaurants that they open and their employees prefer to stay home because they get better income from the unemployment than from the restaurants. So they are not wants to come back to work, and now they are going to say that it's going to be until 2021. So what will happen with the restaurants?
I think the hospitality industry is going to be hurt for quite a while. And unfortunately, it is a big part of our economy in Florida. You know, I'm hearing that a lot in the news, not only in the hospitality industry, but other areas where maybe one of the owners got a PPP, you know, loan from the SBA, and they said, okay, everybody come back, we'll pay you, you know, we're going to pay you salary. We're supposed to do that. And the employees were mad because they were actually going to make less money than they were going to make if they just stayed on unemployment.
That is exactly what happened in the industry. Well,
yeah.
Oh my God, what we can do. What we can do. What about in the farm industry, lords? What about we have, I don't know if you know that it's billions of dollars that come into Ocala through the horse industry. So what about the horse farms and the people working in the farms? What about that? Right, the lords.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Well, I know specifically some of our friends that have racehorses that they didn't get to go to their sales. None of the sales have taken place so far. So that's been a huge hit for them. We know some of them that tried to get the assistance from the government and it didn't go through. So I think they're struggling. And if they don't open up a sale soon, I think it's going to be catastrophic for a lot of them.
Oh Lord, yes, it's right, because you can training because you have social distancing training, but right, they need to do the shows. Yes.
Well, most of them have already had the sales to sell, so they rely on that sale coming to not have to have the training bills for the next couple months. And so right now they're still having to train. So
Exactly. They still needs to continue training and maybe spending money in the horses, of course. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, it's true. And what about the sales on the farms? How about how that increase, or there are many people prefer a farm now? We have in Ocala, I think, it's very good at social distance. We have the houses very we are not a city that we are next to each other, but in a farm, you are having better, right? The farm area are increasing.
So far, what we're seeing there, the lower, under $500,000 farms are still very active. Those people, for the most part, can drive in. They're not from too far away. When we get over $500,000 up to the $1 million farm, what we normally see are those folks are flying in from other parts of the country, other parts of the world, and that is all but just come to a screeching halt. And we feel it's mostly because everything has been closed. And we're hoping in the next couple months that will change. They still have the desire. Most of the horse industry is still pretty strong. Thoroughbred industry is the exception, as Amy said. They're really been just hurt terribly. Much more. It costs quite a bit of money to maintain each one of those racehorses, and there's many of them in the barns that are going. But the knock on wood, the sales so far we've still been moving, and business is normal as it can be during this time. And like you say, the social distancing here, maybe some of the things that changed. People are taking their own car instead of riding with us. We see that quite a bit. Most everything is that way.
Yes, and as I have you here, Mr. President, you was my president too. I have from you an award that you gave me in 2000, and you was president in 2000, I just said it, 2007, right? And you gave me Make a Difference award, and you also was my president that put me, choose me as a vice president first time in 2007 to open and believe in the global committee. And I appreciate, and I always have your, what you gave me in my office, because I think that was really nice from a president, from the work that we as a chairman do for the association, and I appreciate that. So you as an again president for 2020, Mr. Greg Lord, what do you see is going to be the things different that the association is going to do from now? And you was a past president and also a present president. So how do you think it's going to be different in the association from now on?
It's going to be very interesting to see just exactly what happens. We're really fortunate we have a great vice president, Greg Pettis, who's been very active in this, our association buying into the new MLS system. A fantastic venture we have right now, but it's taken it out of the hands of our staff. It leaves our staff open to pay a whole lot more attention individually to the agents. We've, under Greg Pettis' guidance, everyone got a very large reduction in their MLS dues for the year. Thank you, Greg. I've heard many people, and I get the calls and I tell them, oh, please, it wasn't my idea, it was Greg Pettis.
No, this Greg, it's the other Greg.
It was some Greg's idea.
Well, I just supported what you had to say. But overall, we're pretty strong, and we have a good staff, very in tune to what's going on in the community, as well as in the real estate community. I think we have good things. We have a solid association with good leadership and good staff right now.
Okay, I am one of your leadership this year too. I am the chairman for the bylaws committees for the Ocala Marion County Association Realtors. I have my teacher for my Ocala here. So as you are both in my committee. So what you see in Greg that you're going to, as you working in this transition, because I don't want to say that we change, that we don't change, we just are, we are, when you change, you take something from one place and move it to the other one. I think we are adjusting and we are growing. And I think that all the ones that are surviving in the new system of the doing business, we're going to continue doing business, right? So how do you see right now as a vice president, how you're going to see the future in 2021 when you are the president? For the Ocala, for the association.
From an association standpoint, I think as Greg pointed out, the staff there is going to have a lot more time to work on the RPAC programs, work on the education programs, and really support the realtors as realtors instead of just as a MLS service. So I think going forward, as you pointed out, Larissa, that's a transition. And, you know, I don't know if I really know how that's all going to go down and play out. I have high hopes. I'm hoping that we can get more people involved in with the board and the association. I think that's really important. You know, everybody here, we've all been involved for quite a long time. And as Greg is always trying to get more people involved. And that's a real challenge going forward. But I really think that the fact that the staff won't have to be concentrating on all those mechanical services that we have and need for our business, it will provide more time to really support the agents more locally, and the RPAC, and which goes even state to national levels. So I really think that's where we're going to be headed. I think from a state level, we're seeing, you know, the small associations are going to be very difficult to maintain. Those small MLS services are going to be very difficult to maintain. And I think and especially going through the situations that we are right now with COVID-19 and the shutdown, I think we're going to see even more consolidation in those areas. I don't know who or what, but it really, it's going to lend itself that you know, a stronger organization like Amcar, who has funds, it's been well managed through the years. You know, other organizations are not so lucky, and they could take advantage of the situation that we have and can make available to them. And I think that's going to be statewide, you know, even going up into the panhandle.
Yes, we saw that before, because before that situation, you know, we have been seeing, I traveled most of all the associations in the state and most all the associations in the nation, just because I work with them and I do other stuff there. But as you mentioned, they was before having all little situations. So now maybe they can face what happened, and maybe we can be a lead, we as an Ocala. And I remember, Greg, that we spoke about the Stellar, right, before that happened. So we can be the lead, you know, for other associations. And I think we should, I am the oldest daughter for 6 siblings, and as an oldest daughter, you try always to do try to step well so your siblings can follow you. So I think it's something that we need to see the time, what's happening. I think it's great for now, but we've been changing since I am a realtor only in Ocala. We changed like 3 or 4 times MLS, and I hope this is the last one. And I hope that we can do better, and we can maybe serve all counties together, so we can be more strong. Because at the end, that's what we want, and we are realtors. So I was also chairman for 1 year. I was chairman for Global and for RPAC at the same time. And RPAC is one of the most difficult share positions in any association, and needs to be somebody that know and understand, because it's not only being on a chair to collect money and asking for money. You need to know what you are facing to other people for investment in their profession, right, and in their insurance, sorry. So I have one person with us, Amy Jo, that is right now the chairman for RPAC, and I know exactly what is in your shoulders. So that's why I say this introduction. So what are you going to do this year? How is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? What is your goal? And I was fundraising chair last year for the Florida Realtor, and it was $4 million, the goal for the state. So how much is this year, and how much Ocala has to raise?
Well, because we've been out for several months, I haven't really gathered with the girls down at the board to see exactly where we're at. We had a big event planned, which was supposed to be this month. We did have to cancel it. We talked about if we were going to actually have it or if we weren't going to have it, and we haven't really come to an agreement on what we're going to be able to do. We're still waiting for the Florida Realtors to give us either a go-ahead or, kind of sit back. We have, luckily, as our association, raised most of the money already. So at this point, we would be putting on a party and just
to do the party.
To do the party. We do have a very limited amount of money that we have to raise at this point. And I think with the major investors having a commitment that we had from the same ones last year, we should be able to make that goal without a problem. So right now, we don't know. We're lucky because our association has raised so much money already, but we're not sure if we're moving forward with a big event or just a major investors event.
Okay, I think, we are already online, so we beat online. So I think we get advantage, thanks God, that we do 2 years ago. We start with that, so thanks God. So I think that with the little money that we need, maybe we can raise more major investors, maybe. So I am very proud of you, Amy, Joe, and I know you are one of the most collaborator agents that we have in the association. You are always, for you, most of our parks are a great success, and I thank you from my heart. So now we have with us Victoria Ortiz, that you must know. Here is my daughter, and she's our hostess, that she's going to give us any questions that we have from the public, because we have several other places that the people are seeing us, and she can say some salutes. Victoria, how are you?
Hello, everyone. I'm Victoria. Thank you all for coming to Larissa Talks. First, we have greetings from Luis Barcelos from Brazil. And the first question I have for you guys is, what do you think of this radical change that the industry has undergone?
Well, I think if you're speaking to the whole COVID-19 thing, I think it's caused us to adopt a lot more technology a lot faster than we maybe would have. I mean, who would have thought of doing a Zoom meeting 12 months ago? I mean, you didn't even know what Zoom was. And I think it's going to go beyond there, that some of the closing procedures that we're using now that are more virtual and online, I think we're going to be able to do more and more of that, which in the end could make us all more efficient. So it could in the end have a positive effect in our daily business activities.
What about you, Lords?
Well, it certainly has changed and probably tightened up the way we do business. For Amy and I, both of our assistants chose to voluntarily stay home up until last week. So Amy and I were doing Amy and a little bit of myself. We're doing a lot of the day-to-day work here in the office, and it gave us time to sit back and take a good look at what was going on, where you can slow down a little bit. So in some regards, like Greg's saying, it maybe some, we're hoping some positive things can come out of this, and probably around the country and the world, individuals are taking a look at both their private life and their professional life as well, their families. And we've never eaten dinner together so many times as we have over the last 2 months. It's really wonderful.
And I'm not sure I've cooked this much in forever.
Me either. Me either. But we will learn something. It's coming. I know we're going to be more strong, and I think we're going to be more. Everybody touched their heart in this moment, and I think for some people that we was living too fast, traveling and working and having here, having there. So it's more easy right now. It's a stop here, take it easy. Everything is going fine. So it's part of the relationship that you create in your life. So now that we are alone, we know who is our expert and who is real our friends, right? So what are you doing to keep yourself? I want to do for every one of you to keep yourself and your agents positive, because as you mentioned, Greg, we have different offices here, but it's an entertainment in our office when you make a copy, somebody coming and tell you stories and you are, okay, I need to go. So now we are better because we control our time and we can do some meetings, we can do video chat, whatever we want. Right now it's more easy. But what are you doing to keep you positive and your agents and your family and your kids and everybody?
Amy and I are very fortunate because we live so close together, we work together, and both of us are more or less of the same mindset. We're positive motivators to each other and try to be of those others around us. We're always reading the motivation books or watching the motivational seminars, everything to just keep that power of positive thinking going. And if either one of us or any, our agents, our customers as well, people who are around, we try to make sure that there's keeping negativity at a distance. And but I think that's the way that we try to live our life normally. And so as far as that goes, this so far, knock on wood, has not gotten us down at all, probably pushed us to be a little more positive and forward thinking and prepare for good things in the future.
And I've made a point of recognizing the agent's achievements, and I think that that's really important. They're getting flooded with the COVID-19 emails. I mean, my junk mail now is like 150 emails every single day. It's just crazy. So I've really emphasized to them, their gross commissions have been up 30% the last 2 months. So go figure, okay? And I want them to realize that. Now, I put it into perspective. We don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 or 3 months. It's the time delayed business for them. But I think it's important to recognize those achievements that they have. They get a great sale or a great contract. How they did it. How did they work with that client, with the social distancing rules, and how are they all doing that? The other thing is to keep them informed, as much as I can. When the benefit programs came out through the government, I was doing my research and I was getting it to them, and they're going to have to make their own business decisions. They're all running their own business, but I wanted to give them the information that was available. What tools are available. We have the benefit of a large franchise behind us that has offered us a lot of technology tools to help us through this. The tools available to us through Stellar that they may not even have had time to look at. HomeSnap, List Track. These are things that are there, they're available to them that they may just not have had time to research. So I tried to give them those tools to use. The other thing is we've had Zoom parties where it's not to talk about business. We'll do a little bit of business. I might say, hey, make sure you look at my email, this information, but it's just
let's take a drink.
That's right. Sit down, have a cocktail, just because I think the biggest issue right now is because of the social distancing, we are such a social business that it's hard, to not see that agent, not be standing at the coffee machine and, talking about some story about some crazy client or something. So the Zoom party has kind of worked out well. And, we're going to try and continue to do that as long as we can't.
Okay, you used to invite me to your parties and you are not inviting me to this one, huh?
I will. You're there. And the Lords are always invited also.
Okay.
It's been a while since I was invited to one of those parties, Mr. Pettis.
Well, it takes me a long time to recuperate, so we may not have had one.
Oh my God! So you drink what? Bourbon?
Water.
Oh,
water.
Yeah, okay.
Flavored water.
I know you. I know you. You talk to me. Okay, so what are the benefits that you can see? I want to ask this question more to maybe both of you, but the president, Lord, he got a lot of experience with the government and local, our local industry, right? So do we saw at any moment any position, not in any position that the local government doesn't want us to continue doing our business essential, or do we have any moment that when NAR open to prefer that we can continue as a business essential? Do we saw any local frontier or any local, or they was helping us to continue?
Well, I believe that the local governments, and especially in the county commissioners, and now I even listened to the mayor of Ocala, that both are all pro, open, try to get business back to as much normal as we possibly can. We're, a rural community, a lot of open air. We're knock on wood, very fortunate that we haven't had the percentage of casualties or the number of positive tests that they have percentage-wise, say in Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County, those larger metropolitan areas. So they've been very, very positive and pushing and trying to get. I know the chair of the commission, she was really adamant trying to get to Governor DeSantis to help open the salons, especially, some of the restaurants. I got my haircut today after 10 weeks or so. So everybody's pretty happy about that, and they were really pushing for that. And I heard Mayor Gwynn on his report that he was going to be very lenient with any restrictions. And what I took from him is he's wanting us to be leaders and do what we think is right as individuals to try to protect ourselves and those around us, be smart and intelligent. And, so far, hopefully, that's what it's going to be.
Excellent. So I want to take the opportunity now that you mentioned something to say. I want to say thank you for being, not to being here yet, but I want to say thank you to Greg and Amy Lord, because they are a huge supporter of my sister restaurant, Cafe Habana, which I have a little coffee here. And I want to say thank you from our family to your family. And we send you a lot of blessings, because I know you love our family with your heart. And I appreciate the support, Amy and Greg, Lord, that you are giving to Cafe Habana, my sister Laura, my son-in-law, my brother-in-law, Luis Eloy. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much.
We consider them our extended family, and we're not sure as many years as we've been going there on a daily basis that we may be silent business partners. We feel we should be anyhow.
I'm afraid to sell a house to them, so I say, no, don't call me. Call them. No, call Greg or Amy. I know, and I appreciate, and I just want to say in public and forever a big thank you for our family to yours. And also, Greg Piras, can you tell me what is a good moment to buy in Ocala, Marion County right now, beside the low interest rate?
Yeah, that's probably the single biggest reason to buy right now. I think if someone can get a loan right now and the low interest, they should be taking advantage. I know this isn't answering the question the way you asked it, because I believe there's going to be more difficulty and it's going to be stricter to get the loans as we go towards the end of this year. I think the banks are going to start really being more critical. So from that standpoint, not only the rate, but I think it's going to be easier to get the loan right now than it might be in another 6 months. Inventory is still tough. If you're in that $150,000 price point, it's just very, very competitive. And I don't see that improving anytime soon. So take advantage of the low rates, take advantage of the fact that they're still offering these loans. And I'd say now is a great time to buy.
And also in Ocala, what I said also is we have the tax, the real estate taxes are really low. And our
Exactly.
insurance are also really low because we are in the center of Florida. We are 45 minutes away from the East Coast and 45 minutes away from the Gulf, the Gulf, right to the west, and then we are 4 hours to Georgia to the north and 4 hours to Miami driving, 1 hour and 10 minutes from international airport as Orlando and 45 minutes from the Gainesville. So we are very good centers. So we have a lot to offer, and our farms and our sand, our land is beautiful, and every day is here in Ocala is beautiful. The trees and the sun is seen little different. Ocala is the place that give me a hope for the last 17 years of my life. And I have this type of friends that I meet them since day one in the association, like I said. And for me, anything that you can say today inspire me and inspire others that is going to be forever in this YouTube live. So what do you think, Greg, is a good chance to buy or sell if you want to say something about it?
I think, I'm sorry.
Okay, no, you just say it.
Okay.
The other Greg, the Lord.
Okay. Listen, I go along with Greg with the interest rate, but you know, the one thing that I'm looking at, it's not a buyer's market and it's not a seller's market. It's just a good, solid market. So buyers aren't worried, don't seem to be worried that they're maybe getting the short end of the stick or vice versa. You know, they just straight transaction appraisal, at least for us, are coming in for the most part right there with contracts. We're not having to battle back and forth. And those who are truly wanting to sell are putting them, taking advice of their professionals and pricing their properties the way that they should to get them sold, and in the event of needing financing, that they're going to appraise for what they were. So I think that's a big thing. Nobody's gonna trying to outdo the other buyers or sellers. And for us, I know that it's always a lot easier if you don't have, you know, if you will, a buyer's market or a seller's market. It's just a good, strong market. As Greg said, there's certain places in the market that it is really difficult to even right now find what you're looking for. But the good thing is it hasn't gone crazy yet, and hopefully it won't, with huge increases. It's just supply is down a bit, and we need to work through that. And hopefully as we get back to normal or some sort of normalcy, we'll see a lot of sellers decide it's time to go ahead and get back into the arena with selling their properties.
Yes, and I think they are cleaning very well now. They are putting everything. They have enough time to fix everything, right? They have everything, and nowadays is the perfect time for them, and get advantage of these 6 almost month that we have, maybe to the end of the year, that we can get the opportunity to get the interest rate in 2.79. I never saw that, and I am only 52 years old, and I think that I never saw that in my life, and I don't think that anybody 80 and under see that, right? I never saw interest rates so low, ever, right?
Not in my lifetime.
Okay, so we have Victoria, more people saying hi, and before that, I want to say hi to Luis Barcelos, and thank you for being here. Luis Barcelos is the past president for Brazil Association of Realtors. Thank you so much for being here with us, Luis. Victoria, yes?
Yes. Federico Avila says hello to everyone from El Salvador.
Hi.
And the next question I have is, how is the position of our local government with our industry? Is it helping it, or is it creating obstacles?
Greg, I think you should answer that.
Yeah, I think we're very fortunate that our local government is basically on the side of realtors. We have a couple that have real estate experience. One is I believe still holds an active license, and they're very cognizant of what we go through and what the market's doing, and know that we need to grow to keep going. The nice thing about at least in the county, for the most part in the county with this, is that it's all smart growth, trying to develop in those areas that it's already set for development, not trying to, we have some subdivisions many years in the past that were very large, and then they would jump over miles down the street and do another one, and they never filled these projects up. And so they're trying to get these projects built out before they expand farther into rural communities, which is really, it's a good idea. Obviously, keeps the feel and tone of Ocala the way that the rural parts of it, the way that it is expected to be. So they're very helpful for the most part.
You want to say something, Greg Peters, about that?
Well, I think they've also been really generally very good stewards of our tax money. They haven't overtaxed us. As you pointed out, our taxes are still very reasonable here. And that's really on them that they've kept those low. I think if there was going to be any challenge going forward, and we're seeing it to some of those areas, Greg, you were talking about, that infilling those areas, well, the sewer and water has become an issue, because although for years they were allowing septic or wells, now as these are filling in, that's not a very acceptable situation. And I think their challenge going forward is that environmental balance that they're going to have with the economics of it all. And I know that members of our board have been very active in attending the meetings and how to address those issues, along with the builders community. We need to keep our water and environment clean and nice. It's what makes it so beautiful here. But at the same token, we have to do it financially responsible ways. Instead, you can't just put it all on one person or all on one type of property. So I think that's going to be their biggest challenge going forward.
Mm-hmm. And I think that we as an association, we are really solid, because as I say, and I mentioned, being chairman for many different positions, and also board of director, MLS, and board of director for the association for many years, that I get involved too much inside in the association. And I know that, as I said, that I'm traveling also to other associations. And I think we have one of the most smart association executive that any other association has in any real estate association in the United States. I'm talking about Darlene Youngs. So for me, we have somebody that she's the pillar for our association. She's somebody that we, the leaders, she helping us to get better, and she's helping us to maintain our guidelines and I don't want to say the word, but our focus. Oh my God, I was good in what we need to do, no matter what type of chairman you are. Amy, you've been chairman for YPN. You've been chairman for different things. You are in grievance committee. We are in different committees, and Darlene knows everything that is happening here in NAR. So she's always working for us. And I just want to say a huge thank you, because I know you three have the same feeling for Darlene as me. And I want to say super thank you to Darlene, that I know she's here listening to us. You need to say something, Grex? Amy's?
We love Darlene, so we are very appreciative for her.
We're very fortunate. Darlene's been with the association for a long time, and Greg will tell you, anytime that we travel anywhere, you go off to Chicago to the meetings, you go off anywhere to where there may be a Florida Realtors function or an AR function, people gravitate to Darlene, other AEs, other presidents of other associations. She's well known, she's very stable, and a very good representation of our community and our board, for sure.
And I think when we do travel, like you mentioned, that's where you really can appreciate the staff and Darlene and them and the support that they give, because you're talking with other associations and other MLS groups, and you kind of, at that point, you, like I said, you begin to appreciate what you have a lot more when you look at the alternatives elsewhere. So I'm very happy and proud to be a part of the association and having them as our staff.
Yes, I don't have, we travel, but not as a president or incoming president. I never travel with the association this way, but I see that link in many places that we've been traveled together, but also here in our own association, in our meetings, we always look good because she's working really hard for us. And she always listens what we need to say, and she change, and if she cannot change, she will find a way to explain us why not. But we are really appreciated, and as I said, I respect her because for me, she's super intelligent and super focused for where we need to go as an association. And she's a strong woman, and that's how we are. Ocala Marion County is a strong association, and we are hitting almost the 2,000 members, right? So we are big. We are big. So I remember when we was a little babies, and now we are big. So Victoria, do you have any other questions? Or I just want to say hi to my dear friend, Ana Beatriz Munoz. She is a board of director for the Mexico Association of Realtors. And she said that she wants to come to your party, Greg Peters.
Oh, okay. The Zoom party or the regular party where I only drink water?
I
Oh,
know
both.
she wants to come to both. Yes, Victoria.
Hi, I have the final question for you guys. What teachings have you obtained during these days of quarantine?
Well, I can say that when it was for the couple weeks that we had a slower period here in the office, which was probably at the very beginning of when we were on quarantine, or when this whole COVID thing started, we were able to, we every day we get someone sending us something, watch this video, watch this, and when we're really busy, we just click through it. We don't get a chance to actually watch it. And I think that during this, like Greg was saying, technology, some of the technological tools that we have been offered, we didn't have a chance to actually look at them or watch the tutorials on them. And so that has been, I guess, probably more like a blessing that we have had the time to actually learn more on the technology side, and even helpful real estate tips, or from around the country, people from California. Just, it's always nice to be able to look at what somebody else is doing, what they've been successful at, and then make it our own. It's always just very, I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say, but it's
saying in Spanish, saying in Spanish.
Oh yeah, that's not going to happen. I can make up my own Spanish if you want.
And you, Greg, Moore, what do you finish?
No, but that's what I was just saying, that it's been a nice transition a little bit to be able to take a step back and work on those things.
Good. And you, Greg Lord?
Well, I've also been able to watch a few of those, but I rely heavily on my partner here to guide me when anything new and coming up. So I'm probably not on as many tutorials as Amy is. So
you are blessed. You know that? You are the jealousy for all realtors in the world, because all realtors, we want our kids to be a realtor so that we can work together, so we can pick up from the brain. And I don't have this lucky. My oldest is a branch manager for a bank, and the little one, I don't think that she's more in the doctor engineer side. So, and Greg Lord, Greg Peters, I know you have a lucky with your son, right? You have a son realtor, right?
Yes, I do. He's my property manager, actually.
Oh my God, I'm jealous of them both.
Well, you got to have the right personality to do that job, and he's perfect for it. He comes from the Hertz rental training program. So, like renting cars, Hertz is never happy with how much they rent, and the customer's never happy with the car they get. So he's kind of the same thing with property management. The owners are never happy, the tenants are never happy. And so he's very good at balancing those things and servicing both the tenant as well as the owners. But I took the time to do the commitment to excellence designation.
I am.
I figured as long as I had the time, I could sit down and do it. And then that CMLX designation from the Council of Multiple Listing Services. I had the benefit as a director for Stellar that they paid for that. And it's an expensive program. And a lot of the things I knew already, but it really was enlightening to learn of the difficulties going forward, as well as what we've overcome as an industry that I wasn't always aware of. But those were the two major things. And the rest, like Amy said, watched a lot of videos, a lot of Zoom meetings.
Okay, so I want all, before we leaving, because I want all of you say something, and I want to say thank you for you three to be here with me. I appreciate your time. I know you are super busy, and I know you run businesses that they are right now need you in this moment, and you are here with me. I appreciate your time today, but I don't want to leave before every one of you say something before we leaving. But I want to hear Greg Lord selling something. Give me some. Tell me something.
We can sell you something, right? How about your?
Tell me something in your bag. Tell me this horse. Sell me this horse.
I'd rather go with your donation to RPAC.
Okay.
$200, maybe $200 to $300, go maybe it'll $300, $400, maybe even $500 here. So we just got you to donate $500 to
Get to
RPAC.
5,000. Continue. Get to 5,000.
Okay, keep going. That's good.
Oh, go for it.
500 to 5,000.
Do you remember that I always, because I'm talking, I always have the hand like this, and Larissa, you want it? Okay, because Latin, we talk with the hands, So I want to say thank you so much for my dear friends from the Ocala Marion County Association of Realtors President and incoming President and ARPAC Chair. You have anything to say goodbye in a positive way?
Well, I'll say thank you to you, Larissa, because like you said, we have close to 2,000 agents and you picked the three of us. So we just appreciate you just as much.
Thank you so much. Thank you always. You know my heart.
I agree. Thank you very much. Been my honor.
Thank you so much.
We haven't seen you guys in 10 weeks, so it's good to see you.
I'm sorry.
We haven't seen you for 10 weeks, so it's good to see you guys.
Yes. So we say very nice meeting from Federico, Rico. Thank you. Thanks God. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Ana Beatriz, thank you. Thank you. We're going to see each other soon. I'm next.
Good luck to all those that are across the pond that are viewing with their country and how their country's handling this.
Another states we have, it's just that we said also. But I just want to say from Invercasa, El Salvador, muchas gracias. I just want to say next Tuesday, we have Julieta Enriquez. Julieta Enriquez, she's a I don't know say that in English, but it's going to be in Spanish, thanks God. But we're going to be working with international emotions. We're going to be talking about the empathy power. We're going to be talking about the evolutions and how we can reinvent ourselves. So she's going to be with us next Tuesday in Larissa Talks. And also we're going to have next Thursday, we're going to have Aaron Ludwig. He's going to be with us and he's going to be inspiring us in the mastermind to how to produce and sell more. And I appreciate, and this is for my quarantine. This is going to be ending in the beginning of June. So I appreciate all of you are here with us, and I hope to see you next Thursday in English and next Tuesday in Spanish. El próximo martes en español con Julieta Enriquez. Thank you so much, Amy Lord. Thank you, Greg Lord. Thank you, Greg Piras. God bless, and kisses to your family.
Stay safe.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Greg.
Bye-bye.